the stock market, meaning companies, new highs.
I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on. Nuts. They're nuts. They know nothing.
An online network called Internet.
Well, it's very hip to be on the internet right now.
Welcome, my degenerates. The rest of your life starts right now on Market Mania. No bullshit approach to all financial markets, including cryptos, NFTs, darknet markets, political betting, and the largest casino in the world, the U.S. stock market. Today on Market Mania, we will get to the bag on this Friday. Tony Hawk is going to ship an NFT. TKAT's Wild Ride, Sharp Richie on that one. Powell talks CBOC, and top story, Bithumb, large crypto exchange being targeted by Morgan Stanley as a takeover rumor. Brett Ritchie, what happens here?
Yeah, so last night it came out that Morgan Stanley is interested in buying Bithumb or Bithumb. I don't know which way to say it, but either way, they're looking to buy them for $2 billion, which seemed low to me. Bithumb is one of the bigger exchanges, as far as I know. If you look, Tony, over at the CoinMarketCap, they're about, I think, 7th in spot volume. Looks like they're doing, what is that, 2 billion a day or so. So if you're doing 2 billion in volume a day, I feel like a 2 billion acquisition price may be a little low. However, with a lot of these exchanges, they do have maybe a colored past as to where they may need to sell at a discount in order to get somebody like Morgan Stanley on board. So I think it's great for the space, right? Everyone wants these big, if the big banks are opening their eyes to like this level of acquisition, I think it's good. But it seems low. 2 billion seems low.
You count down the top exchanges. If you just sort on any of the sites like CoinMarketCap by volume, most of those aren't for sale. And, Kraken, my man Jesse, crushing that. Coinbase, there's a 100B IPO. Binance, obviously, CZ isn't selling to Morgan Stanley's bitch asses. Yeah. And so you just have to keep going down and down and down. It was always Bithumb in my head, by the way. I never even considered Bithumb, but South Korean based, if I recall. For Bithumb?
Yes, I think it's the largest Korean exchange. There's a couple others that are similar, but those aren't for sale as far as I understand. I think you make a good point. This is basically and probably the largest exchange for sale, which again, like I feel 2 billion is low in general. And then when you add in that, like the other ones are just off the market, I would expect the price to be like 10 billion, but I don't know their internals. I'm not out there buying exchanges myself. That's just like my gut reaction.
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting. And Morgan Stanley, obviously, they're looking around. They're looking at the Coinbase 100B IPO. They're looking at Kraken. Jesse probably wouldn't want to sell right now, pre-IPO. I mean, I don't know. Like, they obviously won in the game. You got to get somebody with volume. It's pretty tough to start from scratch. Very interesting stuff in the crypto space.
It's good that you mentioned that they're looking at Coinbase. I think that's scaring them. Coinbase is perfectly positioned to come in and eat Morgan Stanley's lunch. I mean, there's nothing stopping Coinbase from becoming a global banking outfit as well as a crypto exchange. In fact, they're so well positioned to do it. I think Morgan Stanley got a little bit scared. I think they're scrambling to get this part of their business going, and I think a lot of other institutional banks are starting to wake up to the fact that, wow, we better catch up. This thing is getting out a little bit from under us, and we're going to be sitting at the same bar that all the Blockbuster execs sit at wondering, hey, where did our job go if they don't hurry up and figure this one out? And ultimately,
it's a good point. It's a good point, Tony. And did you remember GSCO through the Circle unit? They acquired Poloniex, which essentially dropped off the map, like they're completely out of the conversation. Maybe like 2 years ago.
400 million in the last bull run. Yeah. That was a fucking massive win for the Poloniex founders. It's like two kids. They just made 400 million, and then like the volume just went to zero right after.
It's a strange. Yeah. What a Wild West sort of space right now. Tony, I know when I see J Powell on the big board here, I know this got to be you, right? I mean, you got to be all over this. I don't even know what's CBOC. What is this? CBDCs?
CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. Now, Jerome Powell must just love the spotlight because he's been out this week talking at a lot of different events, press conferences. Here he was talking at, spoke at a virtual payments conference hosted by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision. That sounds boring, but it's not very boring at all when you look under the hood. It's Federal Reserve central bank digital currencies is what they're considering. Not only are these big banks realizing that crypto is where it's at, but central banks are realizing their lunch is getting eaten too. So Powell has seen this coming for a while, I think, and now he's starting to open up and talk about it. But the thing about central bank digital currencies, and China's already experimented with these, is that they've got a lot of problems with privacy. I mean, fundamentally, anything on a blockchain can be easily tracked, and Americans would not be happy with a currency that can be fully tracked. So it was interesting to see that Powell mentioned a couple months ago when talking about CBDCs that they would have, if they had one, they would design one that could compete on privacy. But I guess my fundamental question is, if the central bank's going to release a digital dollar that competes on privacy, it seems like this has already been created. We've already got Monero out there. We've already got some other options. What value can they bring that other coins don't already have?
The value is that they control it. And I would be shocked if they come out with something anywhere close to Monero in terms of the level of privacy. I would be shocked if they came out with anything more private than Bitcoin, for example, where it's basically all transparent other than you don't know who controls the address, and then they'll know. The government's going to want to know, they're going to want to track this. There's no way they're going to come out with Kamala Harris or one of these assholes is going to be like, well, there's concern about like money laundering or like child something or like any crime. And then that gets thrown out in the House when they're discussing it. And then they throw it back and forth, and then parents get upset and they're worried. And then all of a sudden there's all of the privacy's out the window completely, and they're tracking everything because, you know, some terrorist white guy blew up some truck or like who knows what. They'll take anything in order to track this. So I don't think there's gonna be any privacy with this thing.
Total it's bullshit. I mean, the centralized digital dollar, a government controlled digital version of government controlled currency, that's not really what this whole crypto revolt, if you will, was about. It was about removing the power of government to control currency. This is going to be something that's going to kind of look like a crypto, but, you know, act like a central bank controlled fiat currency. So I'm not too worried about it as it relates to crypto holdings or anything like that. It's just, you know, governments will flounder. They'll try to capture the piece of the pie. China will do it, like Tony mentioned. And, you know, this is the US version.
It can hurt like stable coins, for example. I think Bitcoin, it's probably bullish for Bitcoin. It onboards more people into the digital system. And then Bitcoin, again, is like that digital gold narrative. But like if stimulus checks were just coming out on the US digital system, I could see that getting adopted and sort of stablecoin adoption being hurt by the masses coming on, just using the US version. But anything that's basically not a stablecoin, I think it would be bullish for. It's just onboarding more people into the ecosystem.
There's going to be a lot of these flounderish plays. And I mean, again, someone's going to eventually do it. One government will eventually get a reasonable like digital crypto that is,
Estonia might, but Estonia's been pretty good about crypto and digital adoption. So I'd rock with the Estonian version probably.
But if I'm not into stablecoins so much as I am into Sharp Richie's TKAT call, look at this thing right here. I mean, what happened, Brett? You picked off this, what is it, a Japanese art company? I clicked the website.
Show the 5-day, Tony. It all went nuts this week. So Monday, it's opened at $4 on Monday. And there was this like massive candle essentially straight up to 8. And Matt shared in our chat, like basically look at this chart. I did 2 minutes of research and I saw it was like some sort of Asian digital art project or company that went from a $50 million to $100 million market cap. So I'm like, okay, digital art's one of the hottest things now with NFTs. $100 million market cap on the NASDAQ is still really small, and I don't care. Like, I'll just ape in because whatever. And then it went down to like 550 the next day. Matt sold his at 6. I just Iron Hands Richie here, Diamond Hands. I held all the way through that dip, and then it went completely nuts up to. I woke up Wednesday morning. It was like 38, and then I cowardly sold at 32 because the whole market was dipping, and I was like, I don't really, I can't be mad at a 4x. And then they came out later that day, and they were like, hey, nothing's changed here. Don't maybe you shouldn't speculate so much. The stock crashed to 20. And then people just, I don't really care. It's digital art anyway. And if they sent it back off to the races. So
took 5 minutes myself to click around their website. Nothing about digital art really on there. It looks like an online marketplace for physical art goods in Japan. That is just, again, not even 5. Call it, I probably 2 to 3 total minutes of research.
Yeah.
And also kind of looking at Obama's NBA bracket. It's just not a political statement. Just I like to see where his head's at. And just I didn't really see anything that had to do with NFTs. Obviously, if they just said that they're going to jump on OpenSea, that thing would immediately double from there. But it didn't. It didn't look. Everything was in Japanese. All the titles of the artwork. Couldn't really figure out much. I don't know. Tony, what do you think here? If you had to buy or sell, with a 1 week hold. What are you doing?
I think I'm selling because I saw the news yesterday that they posted, we don't really know why our stock flew. There's nothing fundamentally different about our company from day to day. It just took off. I don't know. It must have just caught some huff of the crypto craze and just took off. I don't know.
One tweet said this is an NFT NASDAQ stock, and that might be enough. I was looking at this since it is, and what is this? It didn't look like you could short it. At least through the brokerages that I use. So I don't know.
No,
they might have
there were no options on. I have Webull, and there were no I wanted to buy options, which actually probably would have worked out amazing. But they didn't even offer it. I think it's just too liquid.
Speaking of top signals, Tony Hawk, much like a Rob Gronkowski move, is going to just throw. Nope, we're okay. Yeah, it's not a Gronk move. Tony Hawk skates his last 540, and he's putting the NFT of it up for auction. I saw, this is the second Tony to produce an NFT that hit my radar since yesterday. Tony G also has NFTs.
That's more like Gronk, Tony G.
But this one's real?
No, but at least it's going to charity. It's a one-off going to charity. Gronk's was just like a straight up cash grab. You look at his Twitter profile, he literally endorses 4 different products every single month. Just rotates them out, cash the check. If he has anything to do with this Gronk thing in a month, I'll be surprised. Like, I guarantee you, he just took the check, dumped out the NFT, and is like completely done with the project. So, which is fine. They still might make money buying them, but it was like there was no like soul of like I'm interested in the space. It was pure cash grab. This, at least, is like it's going to charity, right? So to me, I don't consider that in the same ballpark whatsoever.
I personally, it's fun for digital art. Okay, it's fun for the NFT space. It's fun for crypto space. But I mean, I agree. It's just like every day, like a couple of new top signals. Every day, there's another strange kind of crypto thing that happens that kind of gives me that weird feeling in the stomach of like, And I'll agree, throwing it all to charity. I mean, you got to love Tony Hawk and getting in on the deal just to pump up some charity numbers. Yeah,
that's one of the things that bothers me, I guess, somewhat about this boom or some things in the space, even the BitClout bullshit. When already extremely wealthy people are doing like really like low level shilling, dumping on their followers type behavior, it's just like, man, like you're got like 100 million in the bank or whatever. Do you really need this extra 500K? And the answer is yes, I do. Fuck off, buy my shit. But like, I don't know. I like when people don't always if you're already wealthy, what does it matter?
Brett Rich
cash in every single cent that is out there.
Asking the rich to just grab some ethics, please, ultra rich, have some ethics here in the NFT space from Market Mania to you. We can help you with that. I think we have a pretty ethical, platform here. We show a little gold, but it's not,
So we're rich.
Okay, that door means that we must be getting to the bag. Is that the bag? Is that the mailman?
That was my doorbell, but
that's
my mailman is very interested.
Come on, you got to.
He's saying it's time for the mailbag. Look at the time.
Doorman, the mailman is here. Tony, open the door, please, and grab the sack that he hands you and see what we got in there today.
All right. There was a comment on there. Someone was saying when we were talking about TKAT, RJFL mentioned, what about Zkin? Now, they just came out and said the word NFT, and this is what happened to their stock. Let's see if I can pull up here. Look at that. That's the magic word. All you got to do is come out and say, hey, some company does this, by the way, NFT, and bam. It's crazy. But I don't know what they do. Let's see. They do like metals. They do thin sheets of metal and carbon fiber and stuff. They seem like a materials processing company that just mentioned the word NFT, and this is what happened to their company. That's crazy.
Kids, remember Nikola? Remember, the coffee people, the Luckin Coffee? Just remember some of the delisted scams. Well, not Nikola yet, but just remember that people try to pump shit. That a lot of these companies, even though they're publicly traded, they have a ticker. They're desperate. Some are desperate financially. Some are running out of cash. They want to pump stuff. I mean, you got to be careful here. You just got to be careful at a time like this. Urging caution.
I mean, but do you if over the last year, if you just listened to your FOMO buddy, you're probably up huge, just aping into stuff. And obviously the music is going to stop on that specific type of scenario in a pretty rapid fashion at some point. Who knows when the hell it is. So I like what, long until wrong, right? Is what Alex Weiss has been putting on. He very bullish Twitter account. Long until wrong. He's like, if you don't end up with getting burned badly at the end, you fucked up this cycle, because you should have so many gains that you should have a 30% drawdown at the end, and then you're still up huge or something like that. So I can kind of get behind that philosophy.
Sure, when a leverage trading, sure. But in general, FOMOing into everything that's getting FOMO'd right now. I mean, you're looking for, I don't like the greater fool stuff. I don't like when you're looking for the final bidder, if you will. Also, one more I got from Alex Weiss, kids, just a wealth of knowledge. And I just don't like those games. I like value, and it's not a great time for the value investor right now. There's just not that much that you see that looks like a deal. It's more like, okay, I guess I can justify it. That's sort of where my head's at. Or it's just the latest bit clout. Tony, is that the bag?
We got one more. Just one more thing. RJ goes on to mention that they had just bought a company called X Sigma, who's coming out with an NFT. So that's interesting. They picked up something dealing in that space. The other question was for talking about Filecoin from Isaac D. What are your thoughts on Filecoin? Brett, you got any thoughts on that?
So I paid very little attention to it since its launch. I think that it's a cool project. It seems to actually be a real thing, unlike some others. I would never, ever, 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 ever in a million years touch this token. If you look back up top, the total dilution, the fully diluted valuation is 165 billion. So few of their tokens are circulating. It's one of these bullshit things where you put out 2% of the token. No one looks at market cap, so they're just, whatever, or they only look at the circulating market cap. And then the team has 98% to just dump out. So that alone is I would never touch it. So if they build cool technology, I'll use it. I would never buy their coin in a million years.
There was some tokenomics when this thing launched, and I'm with Brett. I haven't really looked at it very close since the mainnet launched a couple months ago. But there was something about how to start providing the storage space on the Filecoin network, which is essentially just storage, hard drive space. You had to have some Filecoin, and it was fairly illiquid at the beginning, right when the mainnet happened. So a lot of these, I guess, nodes, if you will, miners, if you will, had to get some. And I think that might have pumped up the price with the low supply out there. Now, that's just kind of guessing and speculating here. And I am due for a Storj, Sia Coin, and Filecoin sort of tour. I'd probably do that once every couple of years just to see where those projects are at. See if it's if any of them have created a Dropbox-like, fairly easy way, let me pay some crypto, let me store for years, how redundant is it? I'm due for a tour there. And if anybody has taken that tour recently, would love to hear your findings in the chat or in the comments of this video.
Right on. Well, mailbag's empty. Sean's just asking if we can get a read on Richie's face when he checks the queue for his packs. So
it's not looking good. 193K. But I've bought like the last 3 rare ones, so I can't complain.
113,000 myself. Not going to get it this time. 40,420 was the starting packs. It looks like they threw some out to influencers.
Yeah, it's like 36,000 or so. 36,000 something.
Good luck to everybody firing at that. Tony, if you would gray out all of the little right side thingies, and it is time to whip out the do your own research. This is not investment advice hat. Change that and affix the safety glasses for the Market Mania pick of the day.
Drop it like it's hot. Everybody stack. I'm stacking to the top.
Matt Glantz napped it out today. So, Tony, the producer, what is your pick of the day?
I am going with Theta Coin. And interestingly enough, I saw someone else in chat mention Theta. I'm really excited about this project. This is around the video streaming industry. So this will replace like a lot of YouTube revenues. People will be able to just stream on the Theta network, make their own money streaming, provide other creators with Theta tokens for their streaming efforts, and just completely remove all the streaming middlemen. Samsung's looking at this, Vizio's looking at this. I think all the major OTT platforms and linear channels are really excited about Theta Network, and running a Theta node on your computer is really easy to do. I recommend everybody look at doing that. Snatch some cheap free Theta. I think this thing's going way up.
All right, Brett Ritchie, pick of the day.
I'm rolling with Morgan Stanley. I think they've dipped recently, and they're eyeing a crypto exchange is good enough reason for me to hop on board here. Whether or not the Bithumb thing goes through, I think that the fact that they're this interested in the space is going to bode well for them regardless.
Wu-Tang Financial would have something different to say. Bunch of bitches, everybody remembers. And I'm going to go with Bitcoin. Just Bitcoin. It's buying the top here. Don't mind it. 59.2. Don't mind having it in the bag. If there's none in the bag, you buy it now. It's always a good choice. So that's going to do it for today. It's Friday. And it's March 19th, 2021. The NCAA is going to be locked on most computers and televisions throughout the greater degen gambling world today. Possibly take a small break from the markets to hit that. Top Shot, yeah, it's all basketball today. So we're going to leave you with one from Chance the Rapper in the 2013 Acid Rap mixtape that launched his career. And it's from the Pusher Man track, Got to Love It. And the hook by Nate Fox went a little something like this. I got that I got that goddamn. I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man. Pimp slapping, toe tagging. I'm just trying to fight the man. I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man. Like and subscribe to this show right here on YouTube. Follow us at Market Mania Show on TikTok and Twitter. And we'll see you next week, if there is a next week. But for now, it's lights out.
I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have. I never sleep. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Time to right the wrong. So your hands in the air if you like the song. If you're going over there, take it twice as long. Last time ain't talking about Tylenol. Oh, I bet you'd like to know. You can come around the way if you're trying to go. If you want to switch lanes for a pot of gold or a domino, out of control. The usual. Get mad cause I'm looking at your girl. Switch it up. I do it so much louder than everything you've heard. Everybody heard at the word that the world wasn't turning. Act like you're in a jury of how we're turning, where I would turn it. Can't lie like it's Mississippi burning. Don't act like you're in a daze. I imagine you to look the other way. Couldn't clear space on my mind, was afraid of the time. Strobe lights like in the moonlight. I'm in the
move right now. How about tonight? My interview's tight now. I was surviving.